Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Affirmation Addict podcast. This is your host, Payal Agrawal, and today I will be talking to you about 10 of my favorite affirmations for self-confidence and a couple of tricks, tips, and techniques that I like using when I'm either feeling a little low or I just want a little self-confidence boost. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Hi everyone, my name is Payal Agrawal and I want to welcome you to the Affirmation Addict podcast. Affirmations have changed my life and now it is my mission to help you use them to change yours by using affirmations every day to manifest things your way. My goal is to make affirmations attainable and accessible to every single person, including you, because you have the ability to take control and create your reality. So come with me on my journey and let's see what we can manifest together. Hello everybody and happy Thursday. I wanted to record a podcast for you guys before I left for my travels, and just as this week's theme, if you guys have been following me, I have been talking about self-confidence, why it is so important, and just a lot of information around empowering ourselves and realizing how much power we have within ourselves. And that has been my entire week's focus, and the reason is because I truly believe that self-confidence is the core, and it kind of gives you the most potential for when you're trying to manifest, you're trying to feel inner peace and feel inner joy. And I really do personally believe that the key to feeling those things unconditionally is self-confidence, and realizing that just the power that we have within us is incredible, and realizing that we are one with the universe. We are one with everybody else that we're around. And so we are all connected. We're all magnificent. We're all magical. Like, we're all freaking amazing. And that is what I really hope you guys have started to understand throughout this week. And I know it takes time. I know it's not so easy. I know that it takes some time, and it's not just like tomorrow I'm going to be the most unconditionally self-loving and self-confident person. It is a journey and it's a process, but a lot of people, what they don't realize is the intention of even trying to be more self-aware, self-loving, and self-confident, that is in itself emits such a high vibration compared to being resistant to trying out different self-confidence affirmations and self-confidence techniques because we feel like we're never going to make it or we're never going to get to that point. So that's what I've been trying to emphasize, is that just the fact that you are trying and the fact that you're putting an effort towards building yourself up and towards becoming a better version of yourself and towards loving yourself more for who you are, not trying to change, just really acknowledging you as a divine soul, like as a beautiful soul, that beautiful human being you are, even acknowledging that, and the process of acknowledging that is so effective and so powerful because you're giving yourself the time of day. Like, how often do we go through life, we are just zombies through life? And I know this happened to me, especially when I was working a 9 to 5. I would wake up normally probably 5-10 minutes late. So I would wake up and then I would snooze my alarm, and then I'd wake up, check my Instagram for a couple minutes, and then go brush my teeth, change really quick, go to work, start my day, drive home from work, eat dinner, go to bed. Like, it's just kind of a monotonous routine, and throughout that rush of time and throughout the pressure of getting to work on time or finishing this deadline, we really forget to even take just a couple minutes for ourselves and be like, what am I doing? Who am I? How much do I love myself? That's really so important because time flies when you don't realize it. And if you just say, tomorrow I'm going to do my morning routine, or tomorrow I'm going to sit for 2 minutes and dream about the highest version of myself, that always will get pushed off. And I'm so guilty of it too. And that's why I want to explain, I've seen the difference from when I used to push it off and I had the desire to do it, but I never took action, versus when I started taking action, even if it was 30 seconds of my day just to look in the mirror and tell myself I love myself and great job for doing what you're doing. Because that validation that everybody else gives, everybody else provides, is never going to be enough. We need the validation from ourselves. We just a lot of the times don't realize that we need our self-approval and self-validation. And that is why I think self-confidence is so, so, so important, because we're always going to be looking outside, and it is such a buzzword, like self-confidence, self-love, self-care. And I love that. I love that it's becoming more and more of a movement. I love that more people are aware about mental health and just how important your sense of self is. But I don't really think a lot of people talk about the foundation of it all. And even if it's not to manifest different things in your life, but just realizing that as humans, we need validation. And if you realize that your external validation will never really satisfy you, and your own self-approval is really what's going to satisfy you, that's when I think self-confidence becomes a true priority. I feel like self-confidence is kind of trendy, and self-care, self-love, a lot of that stuff is trendy, which is awesome, but it needs to be for the right reasons, because I feel like when you do it for the trend and you do it for the cuteness and for the pictures, it's just another version of showing people that you care about yourself, which is still external validation. So it's kind of like an interesting cycle that I've noticed, and I've fallen into it as well. And even to this day, sometimes I'll still realize that I'm doing things like that. But I want to take a step back and just emphasize that your self-confidence is the best way for you to honor yourself, and for you to be grateful for you being a human on this earth and you being here today. Like, your self-confidence, it's not just to be proud of yourself and to think that you can do anything. It's a true way of honoring yourself and being grateful for the fact that you have a life and you have life force flowing through you. And I don't think a lot of people get to think about it that way. So I wanted to share that with you, because that's what I learned from when I was working a 9-to-5, and self-care was important to me, but I never really got time to think about why it was so important. So for me, self-care is really important because you're honoring the fact that you are here, and you're honoring the magnificence of yourself. Not, oh, you're so smart, but you are a human. Like, just take a step back. Like, you are here on this earth. Like, that's amazing. And I'm totally nerding out about this, but it's something that I think a lot of people can benefit from, just seeing it from a different perspective. So I really hope that helps you. And I just wanted to give a little recap about what I've been focusing on this week. But now, getting to the actual juice of the episode, I wanted to give you guys 10 different affirmations for self-confidence, and as well as a couple of exercises or techniques to do when you're not feeling your best, and how I, like, kind of my self-confidence boosting kit. You can call it that. And so the 10 different affirmations, I'll say them one by one, and I'll also write them down in the episode notes, so you can take a screenshot of them or whatever you need to write it down. But also, if you are in my email list, I emailed these out to everybody on my email list. And I will be emailing out a weekly set of 10 different affirmations. So if you want to get in on that, feel free to join my email list, and I just drop a little bit of love in your inbox. So let's get started with the 10 different affirmations. So the first one is, I am proud of myself for all that I have accomplished. Next is, I am worthy of my wildest dreams. Everything I need is within me, and I trust that I will receive it. I am ready to receive all that I can imagine and more. I acknowledge that I am a manifestation magnet, and I honor my highest self. I love myself for who I was, who I am, and who I will become. I'm willing to live life the way I truly desire because I deserve it. I am a free spirit filled with joy, love, and peace. I approve of myself, and I love myself unconditionally. So those are the 10 different affirmations that I want you guys to refer to or take note of whenever you're feeling a little down. But as you can see, I kind of base these affirmations around just being ready to receive and feeling worthy, and being willing to change. Because I think with self-confidence, a lot of it is, there's two extremes, I feel like. There's one extreme where it's like, love yourself for who you are, exactly how you are. And the other extreme is, be confident enough to get to where you want to be. And that is such a strong duality. And I think duality is so beautiful because it's shows the balance that we need in our life. And same goes for this concept. It's a balance. I'm not saying love yourself now unconditionally, and you're perfect the way you are, do not change. I'm not saying you're not perfect the way you are and don't love yourself the way you are. So the whole essence, I know that was kind of confusing, but what I'm trying to say is you have to have a little bit of both, like appreciate, accept, and love yourself and your soul, but also be willing to transform, because transformation is only positive. You're growing and you're changing. It's not a negative transformation because you're not good enough. It's just growth. Like, change is inevitable, and there's so many like scientific theories, quotes, all about change and how you can never stop change. So if change is coming, why not embrace it? And for the positive, it doesn't have to be a negative change. That's where your perspective comes in. And I just really wanted to talk about that duality for a second, because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, you're just trying to change yourself so you don't love yourself now. No, that is not true. I love myself how I am now. I love myself how I was, and I love myself how I'm going to be. And that is what I really, really want you all to understand and embody. That self-confidence, self-love, it's always changing, always growing based on the different situations that you're going through, based on the different circumstances you're in. It's always changing, and you need it in different forms, in different levels at different times in your life. And I wanted to talk about a couple exercises. And so the last two affirmations I said were, I approve of myself and I love myself unconditionally. And this is a really, really popular exercise. And and it's a really good exercise to start off with, that if you feel your self-confidence is a little low, or you just feel like you can't trust yourself, or you just feel worried, and that's when I used it. I just kind of felt anxious because I didn't know what was coming and I didn't trust anything. So what do I do? And that's when I realized you just got to tune in, because things are always going to change around you. You're going to be the only one who's always with yourself. And what I started doing is I said the affirmation, I combine it into one. I approve myself, I love myself, and I repeat that 300 to 400 times in a day. And I know that sounds like a lot, but I invite you guys and I encourage you to try this out. And the reason it's so powerful is because if you say out loud, I approve of myself, I love myself, and you say that 300 to 400 times throughout your day, so that's honestly not much. I think that's about 5 to 6 minutes, because saying that takes about a second and a half. So it'll take only 5 to 6 minutes of your day in totality. But being able to say that out loud so many times will just help rewire your subconscious to truly understand what's going on. And I know a lot of you guys will say, well, I can't say that because I don't believe it. Or that's not true. How can I love myself? How can I approve of myself? And whenever you feel resistance, when you're saying this affirmation specifically and doing this exercise, just acknowledge the resistance thoughts that are coming into your mind. So if you're thinking, I can't approve of myself because I'm too fat, or I can't love myself because I'm not in my dream job, those are giving you hints about what types of areas you need to work on, and just let the thoughts pass. Do not give them any emotion. Do not give them any feeling. Let those thoughts just flow through your brain. It's okay to acknowledge it, but don't feed into that thought. And I've been saying this a lot, but your thoughts only start to have weight once you give emotion and once you feel them. So if you don't feel it, nothing is going to happen. So when you don't feel any of the negative thoughts, but try to make an effort to feel the positive thoughts, you're going to automatically start feeling those positive thoughts. And that's why this exercise is so effective. So the exercise is to say, I approve of myself, I love myself, 300 to 400 times a day out loud for about a week. And technically, the exercise is a month long, 30 days, and I know that's a lot for some people to start off with. So I just want to say try it for a week and see how you feel. And actually, I talked to some of the people who participated on my Instagram, and they said they already started feeling it. One of the people said, it's crazy because you realize your opinion is the only one that matters of yourself. You can let somebody else judge you, but whatever you think of yourself is what the true belief is. And that's exactly the whole point of this. And I do this exercise frequently throughout the year. Whenever I'm feeling a little low or feeling a little doubtful or just unsure of where I am, I start doing this exercise. And sometimes I only do it for 2 days once I start to kind of snap back into it. So I invite you guys to really, really try out this self-love and self-approval exercise. It's so effective, and it's one of my favorite things I do when I really need that little self-confidence boost. And just a couple other things that I do when I'm feeling a little low is I write down what's bothering me. And this is where journaling is so effective. And I'm going to record another episode on journaling techniques. But this exercise, what I do is if I have something that's holding me back, or if I have like an insecurity, the first step is acknowledging the insecurity. So once you can acknowledge it, even if you don't want to tell anybody else, be honest with yourself about it. So I used to have an insecurity about my weight and just like how my body looked. And so I would write down in my journal, what's my insecurity and what's my limiting belief. So my limiting belief was that I'm overweight or I don't have a perfect body. That was my limiting belief. Then the next step is, how is this limiting belief serving me? It's not, so that's clear. And how is it helping me? Or how is it not serving me? So how is it holding me back? So my limiting belief is holding me back because it's like I'm not trying on the same clothes, I don't feel pretty, I don't smile at myself when I look in the mirror. And then the next one is, who told me this limiting belief? Like, why do I believe this limiting belief? And the reason I believe this limiting belief, vulnerability alert, is in India, in my family, everybody calls each other fat, and it's a joke. It's out of straight, pure love. Like, it's just saying like, hey love, we say hey fatty. And in Hindi, it's just a cute way. It's a really fun, loving way, and no one ever means any harm by it. But to me, because I was a little curvy, I would take personal offense to it. And they weren't calling me that because they thought I was fat. They were calling me that out of love, but for me, I just took it personally because I was like, I wasn't happy with my body. So that I had to acknowledge that those people told me that story, and they're my family. Like, I love them. They're probably listening to this and they know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, but I love them with all my heart, and I need to understand that they input that belief into my head that I really was fat, and it wasn't intentional, so I cannot blame them. And to this day, we still say, hey fatty in Hindi to each other, and it's out of love, and now I've gotten over that. But I had to manually and intentionally let go of the fear that I was really fat. And I wasn't that fat. I was a little chubby. That's okay. But I wasn't how fat I was imagining myself. That was just my self-perception. And because I was letting myself perceive myself as that. And so the next step after acknowledging who told you the story is, am I ready to let go of this story? And it's super important to say, if you are ready to let go, and if you're not, whatever you're feeling, be honest with it. And if you're not ready to let go, then think of some affirmations for yourself, or try and look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I approve myself, I love myself. So it's really, really up to whatever limiting beliefs that you are going through that you think are holding you back. But that is my favorite exercise, and I'm going to do a quick recap. So you write down what your limiting belief is. You write down how the limiting belief is serving you. Then you write down how the limiting belief is not serving you. So how is it holding you back? Then you write down who told you that story. Where is that limiting belief even coming from? What's the source of it? What experience? What person? How is that in your mind? How did that happen? And the last one is, are you ready to let that go? And once you kind of walk through that and writing it down and realizing like, oh, my thoughts like kind of weren't necessary. Like, I didn't need to think of myself that way. I didn't need to think that about myself. Once you see it written down and you talk yourself through it, you're basically counseling yourself to let go of your limiting beliefs. You guys can release your limiting beliefs on your own. It takes some practice, but be intentional with it and just sit with yourself and take a deep breath and just really, really feel what bothers you. And if it's not serving you, tell the universe, I'm letting go of the thought that I'm fat. Like, say it out loud, like release it and be confident that you have the power to change your mindset and really develop and transform who you are as a person every single day. You're always, always, always creating your reality, whether you want it or not. And so my goal with this self-confidence week of self-confidence is to really instill in you that you are the creator of your life. So let's be intentional with it, and let's really make you believe that you can be intentional with it, and you deserve to be intentional with it. You deserve to be full of love, joy, happiness, and have everything you want. There's more than enough stuff in the world for everybody. There's more than enough money, there's more than enough jobs, there's more than enough love, there's more than enough happiness, there's more than enough joy. There's more than enough of all the beautiful things in life for everybody. So don't limit yourself. Don't dream small. Dream as big as you can, and let yourself, like, why are you not worthy? Like, if you ask yourself, oh, I don't deserve this, why do you think you don't deserve it? And if you can give me a straight up answer, we'll talk. But I guarantee you, if you ask yourself when you're thinking those negative thoughts, why, like the opposite, and you contradict yourself, you won't have a good answer. It's just going to be like, I don't know. And you can change that belief right there and right then. So you have the power to change your beliefs, to open yourself up, to become even better than you already are. You're perfect the way you are, but you also can grow and you can let go of things that aren't serving you. We all have room to be better, to become better, and to be better human beings. We can always give a little bit more. We can always spend a little more time with family. We can always spend a little more time with our significant other or our kids or our friends. Or, notice how I didn't say anything about spend more time with yourself, because that is your first priority. That should be the first thing you want to do. In the mornings, I give myself at least 1 hour of just me time. I don't go downstairs. I don't open the door. Just me. Whatever I want to do. I can be washing my face for 30 minutes, or I might be reading and drawing, or just looking out the window and sitting in bed and daydreaming, or saying my gratitude exercises. Like, you should be your priority. Then comes the rest of the world, because if you can focus on yourself and if you can show up for yourself and be there for yourself, then you'll be able to be there for everybody else so much more and so much stronger. And that is why I just really, really, really hope this episode sits with you and it's actionable for you, so you guys can take this content and take these exercises and these affirmations and to move them into your daily life. You can start them this second and just try it out and let me know how you feel. I really, really want to know, was this helpful for you? Did you resonate with this? Did you try any of these exercises? So just keep me in the loop, and I just hope you guys realize I love you, so now it's your turn to love you too. Okay? I love you. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I hope you have an awesome weekend. I will be in Sacramento. I will be posting all about it, but I'm excited to talk to you guys soon. And take care, and let me know how you like this episode. Bye, you guys. Mwah. That's all I have for you guys, and I just want to say thank you again for spending some time with me. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, head over to my social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or go to my website if you want to subscribe to my email list, which is affirmation-addict.com. I cannot wait to hear from you guys, and I will talk to you guys super soon. Have a good one, you guys. Bye!